way to this new set. Breakthrough. Hopefully this match, lasts a little bit longer than the last one. Aaron definitely made a really, really smart play with his Kyogre EX. And, yeah, hopefully we'll see him in top 8, along with one of these two gentlemen or both of them. Again, we have some very, very talented players today. And we're just getting ready for the match to start. We're about to start very, very shortly, right about now. Again, Marcus is playing Seismitoad Yveltal. Peter, I believe, is playing Combi. Same thing we saw last time. And we're going to begin. Ooh, Marcus starts with a Yveltal and Darkrai on the bench. Peter doesn't have the best start. Starts with a Shaman. You never really want to start with a Shaman. They're definitely easy targets. And now that it's in the active, it's going to make it even easier. Marcus attaches a DCE to Yveltal and a Floatstone on the Darkrai. And then dumps his hand at another Darkrai and 2 Darkness Energies. Marcus was probably hoping he would start with a baby Yveltal. That's usually what you want to start with. But definitely starting with a Yveltal EX is a good way to go with the Evil Ball second turn. He puts down Seismitoad on the bench. Again, we're very familiar with Seismitoad today, as I believe 3 of the 4 matches have had Toad in their list. And we see an Ultra Ball, getting rid of a Juniper and a Trainer's Mail. Marcus is going to search for, let's see. He might be going for a baby Yveltal, or another Yveltal EX, or even a Seismitoad EX again. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. Maybe he runs a tech of Sableye. He put it into his hand. I don't believe he showed it, or maybe he failed to search, just to see what he had in his deck. Maybe he's just milling out for a Shaman to put on the bench to draw more cards. So it looks like he failed to search, I think. Oh, then he grabbed the Yveltal EX and then plays Shaman for the setup ability. He's going to draw a few cards. And I think he plays a Trainer's Mail maybe, or is that from the Ultra Ball? We see a Hypnotoxic Laser go down on the bench. I mean, not on the bench, I'm sorry. Hypnotoxic Laser rolls tails, but Shaman is going to be poisoned. And as of now, I do not believe Marcus has a Verbank in hand. So he's going to go for a VS Seeker and grab a Juniper. And he passes his turn. Shaman takes his 1 damage counter. Looks like he is playing Flareon with a Vespiquen. Ooh, discards Vespiquen and Flareon. He's going to have to get more Pokemon on his bench if he wants a chance to, compete in this matchup today. We've seen so far 2 donks on this stream, unfortunately. Donk meaning, they just didn't have the best start and lost early, unfortunately. And the Ultra Ball is again getting rid of a Shaman and a Flareon. Holy cow. He's just dumping those Flareons in the discard. And he's going to search his deck again, hopefully looking for something good. He's going to have to really struggle to get all this stuff out. And hit a Yveltal for 170 off of a Vengeance. And then plays Juniper. Dumps his hand. Grabs a Shaman. I saw Flareon, 2 Flareons in there as well. That's all of them that he has in the deck. From the discard. Attaches a Life Dew. Wants to be safe. And he's probably gonna look for a Sky Return with that DC attachment. Battle Compressor, we see. Gonna get rid of some more Pokemon. And that's the main gist of this deck. He gets rid of a Jirachi. And we're gonna see what else. Maybe Execute if he has some. Entei and Unknown. So 3 Pokemon from that Battle Compressor. Again, what you want to do with this deck, it wasn't clearly stated last time because that matchup was so short. You want to get as many Pokemon in the discard pile as possible. But maintaining a consistency where you can have your Vespiquens or Flareons to do those big vengeance attacks. See Shaman EX on the bench there. 2 Shamans on the field, which is not optimal. You know, those are cards that you can pick off really easily. And Peter goes for a Sky Return, puts Shaman and the DC back in his hand, and then puts down the Eevee in the active with the Life Dew. Life Dew, really tremendous. Puts a Darkness Energy, or I'm sorry, on the Yveltal. And he's going to have a decent Evil Ball here if he goes for it. That's 80 damage. If you can get a Muscle Band, it'll be 100. It's definitely enough for the knockout. But with the Life Dew, you know, it's going to go back to his hand. That Eevee. See Marcus searching there. See a Yveltal small, or as I called it before, the baby Yveltal there. On the side, he shuffled his deck. Not sure what he played. And got the Yveltal. And then Juniper's the Shaman away for a nice fresh hand of 7. Again, I can't properly see what's in Marcus's hand, unfortunately. So I don't know exactly what he has there, but I'm sure it's something good. He's going to play that Muscle Band, maybe on Toad. He's not exactly sure. He's going to put it on the Yveltal EX on the bench. You know, he decides he doesn't need that Quaking Punch right now. And he's going to Y Cyclone and knock out that Eevee. Y Cyclone makes it so you can switch an energy to one of your bench Pokemon. But Peter, you know, plays that second Shaman and put the DC on that Flareon there with Vengeance. And Vengeance is going to definitely do a lot of damage. You see Peter plays that town map. I can't really see properly his other cards, but he has a DC, an Ultra Ball, and a Fire Energy. I believe there's another Pokemon over there and a few others. And he's going to have to build up for these vengeance attacks. You know, he knows that this Flareon is most likely going to get knocked out next turn. Especially with a Quaking Punch. If a DC managed to get on a Seismitoad. With a Muscle Band, that would knock out the Flareon with 100 damage because Flareon is weak. And Eevee does a whopping... I mean, not Eevee. Flareon does a whopping 130, but it is not enough. Unfortunately. So Marcus is going to attach a Muscle Band to that Yveltal with the damage on it in the active. And play a Verbank. Verbank puts 3 damage counters on a poison Pokemon instead of 1. You see Marcus plays N. You're going to have a fresh hand of 6 before he knocks out this Flareon. We're ready to go. Marcus is figuring if he gets an energy off this N, he can 100% knock out this this Flareon here. If he gets a DC off of it. Well, I don't blame him for Y-cycloning this last turn. He gets the DC on the Seismitoad. If he can get a muscle band on there, he'd be in very good shape. But it looks like he may not have one. He used Darkrai's ability to free retreat, and then Quaking Punches for 60 damage with weakness. Again, he didn't get that muscle band on the Toad, and that really hurt him. I'm not entirely sure why Marcus didn't put the DC on that Yveltal, because it looks like the Yveltal with the damage on it wouldn't have gotten knocked out this turn. You know, unless, you know, you saw a forest of giant plants and then a Combi to Vespiquen evolution. But now Marcus runs the risk of, you know, that Combi evolving into a Vespiquen with the forest of giant plants, and you know, all Peter has to do is have a few Pokemon in the discard and it's bye-bye Seismitoad. But we see that isn't the case, because Peter hits Marcus for 120 damage on that Seismitoad, and it's going to look like Flareon isn't going to last for this next turn. Marcus plays N, you know, grabbing another 6. Let's see what they get. And these are two very tremendous players. Flareon and Seismitoad and Yveltal decks have been running wild today, and we'll definitely see the majority of the top cut be a version of these decks. Alright, Marcus, they just got back from the end. Plays a Trainer's Mail. See what he gets. Not entirely sure what he took. He goes for a Computer Search. It's a very solid card. You can search for any card you have in your deck. And just for the discarding of two prizes. I mean, not two prizes, I'm sorry. Two regular cards. Marcus attaches a Muscle Band to the baby Yveltal on the bench and then plays Dark Patch. Dark Patch making this Yveltal deck so much better than it would be in the standard format, because you can just play so much, and especially with that Darkrai as well, it makes this deck top tier 100%. And then Computer Search is a Dark Energy and a Lysander. Marcus may be going for a supporter here, because I'm not sure how many cards he has in his hand. You see him looking through his discard there to see what exactly is in there. And you get the cut. Then he plays another Dark Patch, I believe, or that might be the energy attachment. And then he knocks out that Flareon with Quaking Punch. Peter may be in a world of trouble here if he can't get a Vespiquen out to knock out that Seismitoad. As he brought the Shaman up to the active. He did get a Vespiquen off that supporter play, and he's going to be able to knock out this Seismitoad. And he plays in Flareon. But, discarding that DC on the Shaman. That is definitely a rough play, because we do not know how many DCs Peter has left in the deck. It's very limited, because you can only run 4 of them, unfortunately. But that makes the game a lot more balanced. But he is going to get the knockout on this Seismitoad for sure, but he runs the risk of not being able to pull another DC and just getting eaten up by this baby Yveltal, or even the big Yveltal on the bench. But let's see what he does. Again, he's ran out of a lot of his key cards here. He had to discard them early. which was unfortunately bad for him. But again, he'll take his time, and getting this knockout, he will take those DC in the prize. So Marcus brings up Darkrai. This is a safety precaution, just in case something goes wrong. And he attaches the Darkness Energy to the baby Yveltal on the bench, going to look for an 100 damage knockout here. With that second attack on the baby Yveltal. Darkness Blade. Yep, he's bringing up the baby Yveltal. And 120 knockout with Darkness Blade. And he doesn't have to discard an energy. I'm sorry, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to attack this next turn or not. With that Darkness Blade. I did not see the coin flip. He puts down a Combi, but he had to bring up Shaman first. He puts that Float Stone on Shaman. DCE on Combi, not going to put it on Flareon, even though that extra 10 damage is huge. I mean, that extra 10 hit points. My mistake. Peter looking like he's going to Ultra Ball, or maybe not. Yep, he's going to play that Ultra Ball. Discarding a Fire Energy and N. And searches for the Vespiquen. I'm not sure if he has enough in his discard to knock out this... I'm sorry, he does have enough to knock out this Yveltal in the active, but does he have enough to knock out a fresh Yveltal EX that's going to come up from the bench? It only takes 90 hit points to take out a Vespiquen. He plays N, Peter. But that also gives Marcus an opportunity to draw 4 and draw an energy from that, or even a Dark Patch. The possibilities are somewhat endless for this end. No clue what he's going to get. You see Peter gets a VS Seeker, Combi, and I believe another Vespiquen. But no DCE. Peter taking his time, looking through the discard and his hand. And he's going to knock out that Yveltal small. But as for what Marcus is going to bring up into the active, it is a mystery. We do not know if he's gotten an energy from his hand or not. He brings up that Darkrai just in case, and he's going to draw his card. I believe that was a DCE. I'm not entirely sure that he just drew. Or it could have been a Shaman. Yep, he gets the Darkness Energy on that Yveltal EX. That is going... He's going to be in a world of hurt. Peter is. Plays VS Seeker. Opts for Lysander. Not sure if he's going to bring up the Shaman EX off the Lysander to take those 2 prize cards. He doesn't want to risk the N and losing that VS Seeker on his hand, so he does opt to Y Cyclone the Shaman EX to knock it out for exactly enough damage, 110. So Peter's going to Battle Compressor here. He's going to look to get the knockout on that Yveltal EX. He discards Combi, a Mr. Mime. And that may be it. Not entirely sure. Yep, that is it. That's all he's discarding for now. VS Seeker, he's going to look for maybe a Lysander to bring up that Yveltal on the bench. Oh, he goes for N. You know, he's going to mill Marcus down to 2 cards here. And, you know, 2 cards isn't a lot to work with. So Marcus is going to have to hope for some top deck here. He's going to have to hope for the best. As I'd like to call it, top deck cheese. Alright, Marcus draws his 2. Peter, 2 unknowns in hand. He's going to farewell letter those maybe. Not entirely sure. Or he may keep them on the bench. Yep. Vespa Queen, Be Revenge, Knockout. Yes, that is some shot clock cheese, ladies and gentlemen. Trainer's Mail. Marcus looking for maybe a dark patch. Flareon only needs 1 more energy to get a vengeance off. But Marcus really only needs a Lysander. And he can discard that. He can Lysander up that Shaman and win this game. He opts for N. Again, if Marcus loses this Yveltal EX on the bench, then this game may be over for him. Or it would be really hard to come back from. I'm not sure what Marcus is going to do here. Again, he only has 3 cards or 4 in his hand. And he might have to pass here, hoping Peter doesn't have a Lysander or an energy. Let's see what he'll do. Marcus either has 2 options, just to keep that Yveltal on the bench and hope for maybe to draw into a Seeker or a Lysander. Or he brings up that Yveltal and hopes Peter doesn't draw a Fire Energy or any energy for that matter. Let's see what Peter draws here. He's got the 1, he's got... And Marcus looks like he might have passed his turn. I'm not entirely sure. Nope, Peter didn't draw. Marcus, I believe, asking Peter how many cards, how many Pokemon he has in the discard. Again, Marcus, I'm not entirely sure what he has in his hand here. He plays Hypnotoxic Laser and flips heads. So Marcus may pass his turn. He's going to look to see if Peter has enough Pokemon in his discard to knock him out. Let's see what he does here. Again, this is a nail biter. He might just have to KO him here. You know, Marcus thinking this through a lot. Again, not knowing, you know, if passing his turn will be worth it or not. Or maybe promoting that Yveltal small and hoping that Peter flips tails. Because I failed to realize that there was a baby Yveltal on the bench. So Marcus could play this either way. With an energy on there. Marcus passing his turn. And that is tails. That is a huge coin flip there. Peter is in a lot of trouble. Because we do not know if Peter plays a switch in this deck. Most of these... Peter passes his turn. And flips another tails. You know, that is huge. And I think... Yeah, Marcus just won this game from that Lysander. Here we are, folks. Marcus Guy, 4-0, going into the lunch break. Peter, 3-1. That was a hell of a game. You know, Marcus just, you know, had that upper hand with that Lysander or that Via Seeker top draw. You know, he could have played it either way. But, Marcus ended up pulling it through. Very good game between these two gentlemen. Both very deserving of this top 8 cup, but we'll see later as we go into the lunch break. I'm Darian Miller, and I'll see you all next round.